Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And if you were missing me yesterday, I was at the docks, but I'm here today. Right, I shared this product. I believe I shared it on Monday. I get confused, it's Wednesday today, isn't it? And somebody said, would I use it? Well, I've already been and used it on one, but I want to try it a different way. And we're going to use it today, yeah. I'm going to get myself in a right mess. So I am just moving my scissors. I don't want to stab myself on those. These tags, KSCRAFT's tags, and I want to use these two candy swirl pieces from this set. We are going to be using this set, and we are going to be using these again. I just want to use elements just to see, because if it works, then I'll come back tomorrow and turn it into a proper tag. Yeah, right, I already have used it. This was clear acetate. Isn't that fabulous? I ran it through a 3D embossing folder. You can have a look. It is absolute mirror. 3D embossing folder. I put a bit of twine in there, and I've used one of KSCRAFT's poinsettia there from, I think it was the August collection. I'm not sure. I'll try and find it if it hasn't sold out, but it's such a pretty flower. And you've got the Christmas ornaments going on. That's what it looks like on the reverse. It's just a matte version on the reverse, so you know, it doesn't look ugly, it's not offensive or anything. But isn't that amazing? Because you can get mirror sprays for glass, but getting them for plastic is another matter entirely. So yeah, I had fun. So I've already made one using an embossing folder. I just want to go close into the detail there. There you go. Right, I put that out of the way. So what I want to do today, as I said, is use those candy swirls, and I've cut myself 6 out, and I've cut 2 tags. See, this one has got, like, I'm going to call it a pinched in waist, where it goes, you know, curved inwards. This one is the straight edge one, and they are kind of bobbin style tags. So I've got my clear acetate, and I've got a red background, because afterwards I want to be able to glue it onto red. Right, so we're going to try something different now. So I have die cut 6 of my candy swirly bits. Now, something tells me that if I do that, first of all, I want to turn my tag over. So this is the reverse of my tag. If I just lay them on there and squirt my spray, I think it's going to, you know, blow off. So I'm going to use a tiny, tiny little bit of my art glitter, and then I'm going to try and get it off with my eraser afterwards. So fingers crossed. Now I'm going to pop these down what would be considered the right way, and just use a tiny bit of glue. Now even that is too much. I don't know if you can see the size of the drop I put on there, but I'm going to split that between 2 of them. Yeah, that should do it. And then I'm just going to decide where I want them. This might take a little bit of time to dry, because of course you're talking glue onto a plastic surface, but I just thought it'd be fun to play, and then finish it off tomorrow. Once again, too much glue for that one, so I'm just going to share a little bit onto there. I'm going to wipe that bit off, and I'm just kind of like randomly going. I've still got too much on this one, so I'm going to blob it onto here. And I'm also going to blob it onto there. So I'll go there next. And then I still think that's too much, so I'm just going to wipe it. I just want enough sticky so that when I spray and dry, they're not blowing off. And then I think I'm going to go, where shall I go? I'll go right at the bottom with that one. Right, I'm giving those a squish, because I haven't got a clue how glue would interact with that spray. So now that I've got those fastened down, Yeah, let's find out what's going to happen. Right, apparently you shake your bottle, not too much, just enough to, I suppose, mix it. You are supposed to wear gloves, I think, and you're supposed to do it outside, but, you know, I'm halfway to Gaga, so I think, I think I'm going to be fine. And it didn't really smell that bad when I did the other one. So it's supposed to take 2 coats, and I hope it's not going to squirt on the camera, so here goes. So I'm just, that puddled down quite a lot there, didn't it? And you can see that it's not completely covered, but you can go in as soon as I grab it with your air gun. So I've got my embossing gun here. Now this isn't necessarily heat resistant that I'm using. I'm just swiping a bit of heat in there. I think you might be able to see it. As it warms, it becomes shinier. So I've done it like that, and then I'm just going to let it dry naturally, and I'll be right back. Right, I think that'll do it. And now going in for the second coat, and I need to pay more attention up here because it's only splattered there. But you know, having said that, when I put my red cardstock behind it, it might even look nice. So I'm wondering if I do need a second coat. So I think I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I'm going to leave it and see what it looks like. Right, we will find out. So I've just capped that back off again, because if you haven't got your lid screwed on, it will leak on you. Yeah, see, it will leak all over you if you don't screw your lid on. So I think this is dry enough to touch. Let's try it. Yeah. Now, even though I've still got my white bits there, I just want to have a look to see what it's going to look with the red showing through. Kind of gives it a bit of a vintage element. Oh yeah, I quite like that actually. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it splashy. And the next thing I want to do is remove that. I'm going to get rid of that. I don't want my dogs chewing on it. So the fact that it didn't go all over it is actually giving it a vintage appearance. Now here's where the fun is going to start, because we need to be able to lift this off. And I can see that I've got little bits of deposited glue in the middle, but that's okay. A little bit of paper stuck down with that one. I just want to know that it works. What are you all going to be up to today? I hope you're going to have some crafting fun. That one came off quite easy. And there's a little bit here, which, you know, I've got to be careful because I don't know if it's completely dry underneath. That one peeled off. Oh, that's not looking so bad. So if I hold it up that way, we can see we've got a little bit here, but overall that doesn't look too bad. So I think I'm just going to scratch it gently with my nail. And I wonder if it will lift with my pickup tool. No, it won't. So now I'll try my poke tool. This is all part of the experiment. And I'm going to go quiet. Whoops. That was my bottle of water. And I think I've got a little bit here. So it's going to be interesting to see actually if it erases it with an eraser. Okay, I know I can get that, but is it going to lift the paint? That's the thing. I mean, if it did, that would also be quite exciting, because you could spray through a stencil. You know, you could spray your piece, put a stencil down, and then you could get an eraser and rub it off. I think we should have a go. Let's try down in this corner and see if an eraser removes it. Oh, look at that. Oh, look. Oh, this video might be longer than I anticipated. Can you see? The eraser lifted it. Ooh, now then. Yeah. Let's pop this on and see what we've got. We've got very vintage. That's absolutely fabulous. I absolutely love that. And it really suits that tag. So we've got very vintage candy cane swirlies, but it can be erased. So I'm just off to cut another piece of acetate. I'm going to grab a stencil and let's play again, right? I'll be back in a minute. Right, I am back. I've got a fairly intricate stencil. I've cut a piece of acetate, and I've also this time done it in white to see what it looks like. So I'm working on the back of the tag, so I'm turning it over, and what we're going to do this time is spray the whole thing. So I'm getting my bottle, move it into the picture. I've given it a squirt. So let's spritz this down and see what we end up with. Oh, it's quite exciting, and I love the way it pulls away, because as it's drying, as we saw on the candy cane one, it kind of looks real vintage. Now this does dry quite quickly, I have to tell you. If I move away from it, you might be able to see. But as I said, this stuff is not heat resistant, the acetate that I'm using. But if you get a close up there, you can see all the little bits that are missing, and I'm going to leave that. I mean, I think if you used a black piece of cardstock behind it, you'd get a real spooky Halloween look, wouldn't you? Okay, I'm just going to put that down there, and I'm going to hold it with my hand, which I probably shouldn't. I'm sure you're supposed to tape such things down. In fact, I know you're supposed to, but I just don't. Right, so let's move that out of the way, and I'm going to try and hold this here, and then let's see what happens. So it's going to kind of peel up a little bit black and yucky looking, as you can see there as it moves away. Now I'm guessing that one of those electric erasers with a fine tip is going to do even better for something like this. But I mean, if you wanted to spend the time, and if you like making a candle box or a Christmas ornament or something, and you've stuck everything down, then it's going to look fabulous when you've finished it. Because of course when you do things like that, you know, they're for life, aren't they? You know, it's not like you sat down for an hour and wasted your time. Now this is going to be extremely rough, I'm sure, when I've finished it, but it's just nice to know. Now I'm trying to work with the direction of the stencil, and as you can see, this one is quite delicate and intricate, so I don't know what kind of finish I'm going to get. And occasionally you've got to dust your fluff off your rubber. I'm going to do a bit more in here. Can you see that? You get a little bit of build up. I'm just pulling it off into my bin, and I'm using one hand because I'm holding the stencil with the other. And it might not show up as well, I don't think, on white cardstock. I'm going to go over here and see what happens. Yeah, you definitely want a solid shape if you're going to do this. And what's great about that is you could actually spray the whole thing, and then you could like stick down an oval or something, you know, across it, and then you could erase the oval so that you've got an actual frame that you can put your image in of Santa or a Christmas tree or an angel or anything like that, and then pop it back onto it again, and then people won't know how you did it. So I'll try and do one of those and show it you tomorrow. But I think what I've chosen here, even though I'm having fun, is way too intricate. But as I said, if you've got one of those stylus type erasers, you're totally going to be able to get in there and do this. What I'm using is a wee bit chunky, to say the least. And I don't think it's going to quite show the pattern. So I'm going to leave it at that because we're running the clock and just see what we've got, which doesn't look like much. I'm going to tap that off and tap that off. Yeah, we're going to need something a lot more solid, but if you put that behind there, I'm trying to see now which is the right way. It's that way. Can you see how it's erased it? But you do need something that's not as delicate as this, you know, kind of a couple of steps up from this one, and it would be brilliant. But you know, going back to that, let me just put all this in my bin here. Going back to the idea of erasing something so that you can get your image in, and I think this is the right way. We'll find out if we can remove it or not. There you go. So if you've actually got a frame that you've cut out of a piece of cardstock to use as your stencil, and then you go in and you start erasing it. Let's go with that. Then you've got that real vintage worn out frame. Oh, do you know, I think this would look fabulous on film strips as well. I really do. So if I put that on my white background, and I've got images, hang on a second. Right, I just grabbed a sheet of my Halloweeny paper. So imagine the cat on the pumpkin, just kind of peeking through there. I hope you get to see it. I just think that's absolutely awesome. I'm going back for another bottle actually. Yeah, I should have bought two at the same time. Maybe my postage would have been cheaper, but I know that that's a Halloween spooky image, but imagine Santa Claus peeping through as well. And it really is. It just looks like a vintage mirror. I love all the speckly bits, the missing bits. I just love that. And that's what we did today. I played. Yeah, I did. I had fun doing that. But I'm going to be back and I shall be sensible tomorrow. Yeah. I'll be better organised. Right. I thank you so much for joining me today. Do have an absolutely awesome day. And as usual, all links below. Bye.